What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel here today. Now in today's video it's going to be something a little bit different, and it's going to be catered towards some of you players that might have not got into Sorare yet. You're wondering what it is, and a lot of the videos on my channel recently have been targeting, of course, the audience of people that already play Sorare and helping them scout out and pick out players that they should purchase. However, in the video today I really want to help out people that might be new to it, maybe you don't understand something, and pretty much just walk you through my best tips on how to start Sorare in Sorare 26. Okay guys, so this is going to be a lot of information crammed into the video here today, and like I said, we are targeting, of course, the newer audience of people that might not know certain things about Sorare. With that being said, if you have already started Sorare, there might still be a couple of things in here, or a couple of pointers that you guys want to sort of pick up on, and yeah, let's get into it then. So, kicking things off, what is Sorare? Breaking it down completely as easy as I can to explain to someone that has never even opened the site before. Pretty much all it is very similar to FPL. You'll get players on the website, you'll put them into a little lineup, as you can see here on screen. This is my example. You can see it's a full Newcastle stack, and this was last season. These are the players I picked. I captained Isak, and then I got a score. You can see here my score is 475 points, which is very good. And then pretty much depending on how well you score or how many points you get, you'll be rewarded with multiple different prizes. As you can see here, the lower tier prize is $10, and then if you manage to win in this instance, it's $300. Now I will say there is sort of divisions and things like that in most games. To be honest, there's always like divisions, promotions, relegations. So obviously, depending on what division you are, the prizes could be obviously substantially better, they could be worse, it really depends. But just to break it down to the foundations, pretty much you set a lineup and you compete against others for prizes. However, there's a bit more to it, and I'll get onto that later on in the video here today. However, that is just the basic what is Sorare. So moving on to the next thing, if you are thinking about joining, of course I'm going to say remember to use a creator link or a referral link. Mine can be found in the description of this video, or on my YouTube page, as you can see here. And the reason for that is because, like anything, pretty much like anything nowadays, if you sign up through a referrer's link or with someone, then usually you get benefited for whatever reason. So I believe if you sign up with my link now, you get market credits and things like that. So it just pretty much just makes it cheaper for you guys to start. And then moving on to another great addition to Sorare 26 is the Sorare Wheel, and this is another reason as to why I think it's a great time to be starting for Sorare 26, because you get a free ticket every single day to spin this wheel. So let's just say you've downloaded Sorare and you don't want to spend any money. That's completely fine. You can still come on, spin the wheel, play the common game mode, and pretty much just play Sorare for free if you want. If you're just trying to learn it, or you don't really understand it yet, that's completely okay, because you can come on, spin this wheel, and you might even get a prize that's actually worth money, which I mean, in that case is going to be obviously very good for you, because you'll get something with a monetary value for essentially nothing. And then moving on to my next tip, or next thing, a reason as to why I think it's quite good to start Sorare right now. And if you guys follow me on Twitter, you'll know that I tweeted out about a free cash app thing that I use. I'm going to be talking about it more in the future, but essentially, you can get quite a lot in Sorare. As of recording, or as of right now, you can get a lot in Sorare for essentially just your time, as opposed to actually investing in it. And what I mean by that is you can download, this is what I've done for this season. You can download, again using my link if you like, if you find this tweet. Yeah, essentially you can download apps to play, to earn money, to then use on Sorare, and then essentially you're going to get things on Sorare for free, and you could potentially win more on Sorare, if that makes sense. So you can see here, I've earned £100 just playing apps. Of course, this takes a long time. It's not, nothing in life is free. You have to pay your time in order to get the money. So this is more for those of you guys that perhaps don't have a lot of money to invest in things like this, you just want to give it a go. Yeah, I recommend just trying things like this out. And like I said, I'm not getting advertised to promote these. This is just speaking through my experience. I'm not sponsored by these or anything like that. It's just I'm speaking about what I do personally, and then hopefully it helps any of you guys out. So then let's just say you've downloaded whatever, you've got money on there, yada yada yada. Next step, you'll go onto the market and you can see on Sorare you can pretty much buy all of the major league cards, especially La Liga. I highly recommend if you pretty much my recommendation for this for new players is always just buy what you know. So there's no point in coming in and then just buying like I don't know, PSV for example, and you never watch Eredivisie. I recommend, like, say if you're a Premier League fan like me, and you know you're going to watch like every Arsenal game or Newcastle game or Leeds game, whatever you're going to do, I recommend purchasing or investing into them because when it comes to selecting your sides and who you want to use on the leaderboards, like we discussed at the beginning here, I watched every single Newcastle game last season, hence all the Newcastle players. I know who's going to play, I know who I want to captain, and so on and so forth. So when it comes to buying people, I highly recommend buying the people you know the most about, or the teams that you want to follow, the teams that stick out and stand out the most to you. Maybe you support a certain side and you just want to buy into them because you know who's going to be playing on the weekend, for example. So yeah, I highly recommend when you do have your money, however choose to whatever you choose to put on there, even if you want to play on a budget. um, for those of you guys that might be asking how much do I need to play Sorare, of course, like I said, I do recommend just essentially getting the money for free because then it feels like you're playing for free. But let's just say you don't want to spend time playing apps and you just want to play, download 50 quid or whatever you want to do, or shall I say deposit 50 quid. I would say that you probably need a good probably 40, 50, 60 pounds, that sort of region to be competitive. For those of you guys that might be thinking, how do I do that? I am actually going to be starting a series at some point in the future that will be focused on people that have a smaller budget, and perhaps that will help you guys. So sorry about that. Perhaps it will help you guys in the future. So for those of you guys that are looking to get advice and tips at the lower level or budget sort of level, I will be creating a series for you guys to follow along, and hopefully it will help you guys, or the newer players, should we say. So you've bought your players. You've decided on the players that you want to invest in or watch, whatever team it is. Moving on next then, and like I said, well, this is actually kind of fits hand in hand with that. You can scout out the competitions, you can see all the different competitions here. It can be a little bit daunting when you first load onto Sorare and you be wondering what all of this means. Essentially, I'll break it down for you guys. Of course, it's very easy to know. Premier League is Premier League, MLS is MLS, League One is Ligue 1, La Liga, Jupiter Pro League. These ones are easy, you don't really need me to break it down. All-Star is literally every card, so you could put an MLS goalkeeper with Premier League players. That's all All-Star is, it's pretty much just everyone. Then Champion is the top 5 divisions in football, so Premier League, Ligue 1, Bundesliga, Serie A, and I knew I'd forget one. Why am I forgetting? Ligue 1, La Liga. Oh my god. Serie. Wait, did I say Serie A? Bundesliga? I don't know. Wait. Bundesliga, La Liga, Ligue 1, Premier League, and Serie A. I don't know why my brain just went numb there. Anyway, Challenger is pretty much the second tier of football leagues in Sorare, so Eredivisie, yada yada. Not Eredivisie, sorry. They obviously have their own specific comp, but pretty much you can see clubs like the Danish league and things like that in there. And then Contender is pretty much everyone else, like Bundesliga 2 and things like that. And then we have under 23. This is literally any competition under 23 players, which is quite cool. I do like that. We do have a series on the channel as well that focuses on the under 23, so yeah, if you're interested in getting into the under 23s, I recommend following that. And then Arena is what you would use your essence to. Again, it's similar to All Star, but you play with a bit more at stake because it's almost like you bet your essence against other managers, and then you win more essence. Yeah, pretty much essentially, essence is the thing that you use to craft. And yeah, pretty much moving on to that, which is the next point, which is obviously essence, which again you can actually earn this from playing for free. Just spinning this wheel every day might earn you some essence, and essentially when you get to 1,000 essence, you can craft. And then pick a player. Pretty much gives you, I think it's 10 players to pick from, and to be honest, it's just a bit of luck. You pick a random player, and of course, then you would sell the player or you would use the player, and yeah, essentially you would make money that way. And then last but not least, this is a big selling point for Sorare 26, and an absolutely massive reason as to why I think you guys should at least just download it, play some get some free cash from the app, free cash app, and then download whatever you get from this. I highly recommend Monopoly for those of you guys that do download this. So let's say you get 50 quid, you play it for a month or whatever, you get 50 quid, then essentially you're going to have a £50 squad to attempt to go for hot streaks. Now, hot streaks is pretty much you're playing against the game rather than the leaderboards. So you know how we discussed at the start of the video that you would be in a leaderboard against other people competing for money. Now, hot streaks, you will still be in a leaderboard competing against other people. However, hot streaks actually allow you to earn cash with, like, just on your own, not competing against other people. You're competing against Sorare at the same time, which is fantastic. So you actually have two chances to win cash. So for those of you guys that don't know what hot streaks is, essentially you just have to hit a target and then you'll get paid out from it. So for example, the first game week you have to reach a certain target, 350 points for example, then you'll get paid a certain amount of money. And then pretty much the streak that you go on, it will obviously be harder, but you get more money. So for those of you guys that are more interested in it, you can go into view streaks here, and you can see just down here pretty much the targets and how much you would get. So I will say at the moment, obviously you can see they are boosted under my camera here. They are boosted. That is for game week 1, of course. So you can see here, if you get 250 points in Contender Limited, then you'll receive $6 for the first one. And then if you did hit that one, the next game week you go for 300, for $10, so on and so forth. But of course, like I said, this is boosted for the first game week. If you guys click on it now, the boost might not be there anymore. I'm not too sure, but yeah. So bear that in mind. So let's just say you're going to go into Premier League. You can see here you need 360 points for $25, which is it's difficult but not unreasonable. You can see here this team, like I said, this scored 475, but this was one of the better game weeks for sure. Like this is, I think I only would have scored better than that maybe 2 or 3 times the entire last season. So it's quite hard to get, a high score like that. So maybe don't, maybe that I should have got some worse examples if that makes sense. But yeah, essentially you got to reach 360, which I think is doable, to be honest. It's not completely unachievable. 380, 400, 420, 460, and then if you did get 460 you get 5,000, which is hard because essentially you have to do it 5 weeks in a row. But of course that is the whole point of Sorare, that is the game, you know what I mean? The likelihood of you getting 5,000 is not impossible, because if you are good at FPL or you're a good manager and you get a bit lucky with goals and things like that, then it's not unachievable. Like I said, I achieved over 460 probably 3 or 4 times last season. I don't know the exact amounts in my head, but if I'm guessing, I've probably done it 4 or 5 times, around that 3-4 sort of number. So it's not completely unachievable to get 460, but of course you would have to do that, essentially build up to it 5 weeks in a row. And of course this is boosted 5 times for the first game week thing. Like I said, of course, when you guys look at them, might not be boosted anymore. But yeah, essentially, there are all the reasons as to why I think Sorare 26 is, it's a great time to be starting, especially if you're new, because like I said, if you use a referral link and you play free cash, it's essentially you're just doing it for free. You get the Sorare Wheel for free as well, which you can essentially monetize and make money from. And then not only all of that as well, if you are just completely like, you downloaded it, you don't want to you put any money on, you don't want to play apps, then you can still play the common game mode, which is essentially you just get given cards every day for free. As you can see here from my gallery, these are the common cards that I own, and they're just pretty much you get given these for free, and it's just like you plug them into almost like practice, so you can put them into a lineup, see how they do over the weekend, see how you score. If you're umming and ahhing about Sorare and you don't really want to put money on or whatever, this is a great way to sort of work out how the scoring works. So you could put in, I'll probably show you guys an example. Like, let's just say, yeah, you don't want to spend money, you just want to learn how the game works. Essentially, you can come in, you can see here are some of my squads ready for the first game week, but you could plug in these common, which obviously none of this costed me any money. You just put them in, you see how they do. Let's just say this team scores, I don't know, 350 or whatever, then you can be like, oh, okay, it's not completely unachievable to do well in the competition. 350 is a decent score. So yeah, I would say all in all, Sorare 26 is kind of like a no-brainer to at least download or at least go on the site and give it a go. Like I said, even if you're just spinning the wheel every day, there's essentially potential money to be made in the future, and pretty much like anything like ever in life, the more money or the more time you invest into something, the more likely you are to get something out of it. So don't get me wrong, if you're sitting there, you deposit like $5, I wouldn't really expect too much out of it. Do you know what I mean? It's that type of thing. You have to, be smart with it. Even like people that would invest thousands and then not get that much back, it would be probably more down to poor decision making or lack of caring for money. People could put £50 in and make a lot of money back. I know a lot of people, especially that come in stream, that made a decent profit last season just because they're playing with whatever, leftover money, maybe 100 quid, 200 quid or whatever, and they make 600-700 quid just because they make the right choices, they invest in the right stacks, they invest in the right teams, they put the right players together at the right times. You know what I mean? So there is an element of being a good manager and knowing what you're talking about and being good at FPL in Sorare. So if you believe you are any of them, then I do recommend giving it a go. So there you have it, guys. There is all the reasons as to why I think Sorare 26 is going to be great coming up this year, and I've even given you guys some tips on how to start. Maybe if you haven't played Sorare before, then of course this video could have helped you out. If you are thinking about it, or you have questions, of course this type of video is made literally for the questions to be answered. So if I haven't gone over anything or something is a bit confusing, maybe I brushed over something too quickly, then of course get in the comments down below. I will be replying to absolutely everybody. So yeah, literally any questions or whatever, then let me know in the comments down below. If this video did help you in any way, please do remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and we'll catch you guys in a future video. Peace.